Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today's video is all about the starting 11 that I would pick for Luton against Birmingham. Now what I'm going to use is what I've seen so far from pre-season and also just give like a rough guess at what I think Nathan would pick. There's going to be a lot of players out that I do think will miss out on the first game, but definitely will feature throughout the season. Of course, games are going to come at us quick and fast, and hopefully all of our players actually remain fit. I think this is the key one here. Players staying injury-free. And if certain players at the club can actually stay injury-free for the season, I believe they will have very good seasons. And two players which I can point out quickly are Berry and Clark. We need those two players to stay injury-free throughout the season. But let's start off with the actual formation and system which we could potentially play against Birmingham, and the actual one which I think we will play. I actually think we are going to play with 5 at the back. So to start off with our 5 at the back, we're obviously going to talk about the goalkeeper first, which I do think it would be Ethan Horvath, the American goalkeeper. Hopefully I am pronouncing his name correctly. I do think Ethan will be the starting goalkeeper for the season. I actually think he will be #1 throughout the whole season. He looks a really good shot stopper, and hopefully if he does do really well, Nottingham Forest don't recall him in January. But anyway, I do reckon he will start in goal on Saturday. Right wing back, I am going to go with James Bree. Besides James Bree, I'm going to go with Burke. And then in that centre-back role, it's either going to be between Osho and Lockyer. So I am going to go with Lockyer first. I do have a slight, feeling he may play Osho, but I want to go with Lockyer as the, central centre-back. And then as the left-sided centre-half, I'm going to go with Bradley. And then left wing back, I'm actually going to go with Doherty. I don't think Amari Bell will start the season. Now we go into the midfield. I do think Alan Campbell will be in that midfield. And I'm not too sure who could be next to him. But I'm going to go with Lansbury. I do think Lansbury will be partnered up with Campbell in that midfield. And then in front of them, I actually think it's going to be Clark. In front of those two. So that's going to be like our midfield 3. And then looking at, the attacking options which we've got at the club, I think Elijah will start. And I do think he's going to play Cornick alongside Elijah. And then if we need to, we then would obviously take off Cornick or take off Elijah and bring on Morris or bring on Woodrow off the bench. So I do think that would be our starting 11. I think that's, 2 or 3 changes from the side that played against West Ham. Nathan, he did come out in his interview recently and mentioned that he wouldn't make too many changes. So I think 2 or 3 changes sounds about right from the West Ham game. And I feel like I've gone realistic as possible. Do I think that starting 11 is good enough to beat Birmingham? Of course I do. But we know our record against Birmingham. It isn't the best. We do struggle against them, but somehow we just can't overcome them. It doesn't matter what manager they have. They've got obviously a new one for the start of the season as well. I don't think they're going to have a great year, Birmingham, if I'm being honest with you. It doesn't sound very promising. It sounds very depressing being a Birmingham fan at the moment. There's not much going for them. In my eyes. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them this year. I don't think their transfer market's been, the transfer activity's been as good as it could have been. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But for us, what's really positive, if our starting 11, if the players are not doing their job properly on the pitch, we've got game changers off the bench. Our options are unbelievable, and I'm really excited what could potentially happen this year. You guys have already heard my predictions on where I think Luton may finish. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check out that video out. I do think we will get into those playoff places. So yeah, looking forward to the game on Saturday. This is just the end of the video, guys. It's just a nice little quick one on my starting 11 for the game against Birmingham. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be a match preview about the game on Saturday. So see you guys then.